Okay, I know you talked about the brain. This is just going to be really quick, but I had to include this. It's brain disease, okay? It's a brain disease. It's genetic. We talk about this all the time. There are a lot of people and a lot of kids of alcoholics, adult children, that get a little upset when they hear that because they feel like dad is being let off the hook. Or maybe this is kind of a new age thing, you know, just to make alcoholics feel better. And I love this, that it comes out of Scientific American. I'm just pulling one line out of it. But you will notice this was published in 1877, okay? And what they wrote was, science draws a broad distinction between drunkenness as a vice and drunkenness as a disease. And if you do your research, you will find writings like this that go all the way back to the Roman times. And I love these. And we're not going to spend any time on this, but there's a reason I want to show them to you. Dr. Daniel Amen of the Amen Clinic, he's a neuropsychiatrist. These are SPECT images, and these photos are from one of his books. This is a normal, healthy, unaddicted brain. Now, these are middle-aged people, but here we have an alcoholic brain, 17 years of heavy weekend drinking. And what we're seeing here is the atrophy of the brain, so the ventricle system is getting larger. What Dr. Amen says is that these brains look as if acid has been poured over them. And very quickly, I'll tell you a case I had recently, and this fellow was only 55. In the world of older adults, he was darn young. And alcoholic, end-stage alcoholic, and he fell and hit his head, and it required that he go in for surgery on his brain, not once, but twice. And the neurosurgeon afterward pulled the family aside, and he said, you know, I need to tell you something, because I have never, ever before seen this, but 85% of his brain was mush. And 15% had turned into like a woody substance from what he could see. So here we have, again, this brain. Here's a healthy brain. Here again we see the atrophy, 50-year-old alcoholic. Cornell University, they found that rats fed a liquid diet containing moderate amounts of alcohol for 6 weeks had a 66% decrease in the number of new neurons and a 227% increase in cell death in the hippocampus. While neurons continue to develop, alcohol causes the new cells to die off before they mature. But this is the good news, and this is why I want to show you these brain scans, because now we have the brain before recovery, and this is 1 year into recovery. And as you all know, I'm sure, it wasn't too long ago where we thought the brain didn't regenerate. Well, it does. And here's another one. Alcoholics Anonymous, they have a little saying, you know, in 5 years you'll get your brain back. In a lot of ways, they knew things that science is now catching up and going, hey, now we can see this stuff and how it happens. Out of Yale, there was an interesting study, and what they found is that, hey, if you have really meaningful conversations with somebody who's actively listening to you and giving you really meaningful feedback, the little connectors between your neurons grow faster and more of them. And it actually, you know, like in therapy, for instance, but that's what goes on in AA, too. So not only are people able to get, you know, stay sober because they have an ongoing program of recovery, but it's really looking like those are the kinds of things, therapy, Alcoholics Anonymous, that those kinds of things actually help heal the brain.